It really wasn't that long ago when watching TV was, well, pretty passive, right? You were stuck with limitations. You either flipped through the channels you got, or maybe you sat down at 8 p.m. sharp because that's when your show was on.
Yeah.
Missed it, tough luck, wait for a rerun. The broadcaster called all the shots. Fast forward to today, and that whole relationship is completely flipped on its head. Now, it all starts when you launch an app, maybe on your phone, your tablet, your smart TV. And the big question isn't what's on TV anymore. It's what do I actually want to watch? That shift, it's huge. A massive change in control.
Exactly. And the technology driving that massive shift, the engine behind it, Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, Movie, all of them, that's over-the-top streaming, or OTT. So our mission today in this deep dive is to really unpack what OTT means, how it works across the globe, and how this one technology has basically redrawn the map for global media. Who has the power now?
Okay, yeah, let's start there, the foundational definition. What exactly is OTT? Because it sounds a bit like, corporate speak, but it's actually describing a really radical tech choice.
Well, at its core, OTT is just the way media content, video, audio gets delivered straight to you, the viewer, using a standard internet connection. The radical part, like you said, is what it bypasses. It deliberately goes around the traditional infrastructure, the physical cables, the satellite dishes, the broadcast networks that used to be the gatekeepers.
Right.
And the name itself, over the top, actually comes from the idea of going over the traditional set-top box. That box the cable company gave you, that was the locked gate. By hooking up a Roku or an Apple TV or just using an app built into your smart TV, you're literally getting content over the top of that closed system.
And the big consequence of doing that, of bypassing the cable company, is that someone like Disney or HBO, well, they don't need the cable company anymore to reach us. They can go direct.
Precisely. It creates a direct-to-consumer relationship, or D2C.
Right.
Suddenly, they control the whole experience.
Right.
Before, stuck with cable, they lost control of the interface, the billing, and crucially, the data. Now, they manage their brand, they handle your payment, they build loyalty directly. It's a massive power shift.
And for us, the viewers, that bypass means freedom, really. We're not chained to the TV set or that specific cable outlet anymore. We can watch on, well, almost anything connected to the internet. Smartphones, tablets, game consoles like PlayStation or Xbox, smart TVs. If it's online, it's potentially a screen for streaming.
Yeah, to make that difference really clear, let's use an analogy. Think of traditional cable TV. It's kind of like a fancy prix-fixe restaurant. You pay one set price and you get this big multi-course meal that's your channel bundle. But the menu, the order, everything comes out. That's all decided by the chef, the provider. And it's served at a specific time, the broadcast schedule. And crucially, you pay for the whole thing, even if you only wanted, say, 2 of the channels or 2 courses.
Okay, I get that. So if cable is the prix-fixe meal, then OTT streaming is more like using DoorDash or Uber Eats, one of those food delivery apps.
Exactly. The menu is practically endless, coming from all sorts of different restaurants or providers.
Okay.
You pick what you want, when you want it, and where you want it delivered to which device. You can go for an all-you-can-eat subscription from one place, or you can just pay a one-off fee for that specific movie you really want to see. Total flexibility.
That really clarifies the value shift, moving from that forced bundle to this kind of a la carte delivery. Okay, let's talk money then. How do these global services actually make their money? And how does that business model shape the shows and movies we end up seeing?
Yeah, following the money is key to understanding the content strategy. There are pretty much 3 main ways these OTT services bring in revenue. First up, the one everyone knows, SVOD. Subscription video on demand. This is your all-you-can-eat buffet model.
Like Netflix, Disney Plus spread.
Exactly. You pay a regular fee, usually monthly, for unlimited access to their whole library, typically without ads. Their entire game is about getting new subscribers and keeping the ones they have, reducing churn, which is just people canceling.
And that's why they pour billions into making their own exclusive shows, right? To stop that churn.
That's precisely it. It fuels the original content, arms race. They need those big splashy shows, your Stranger Things, your Mandalorian, that act as powerful, exclusive hooks. You can only get it there, so you stay subscribed.
Okay. Then there's the model that seems to be everywhere now, the free stuff. AVOD, advertising video on demand.
Correct. This is the free-for-all paid-by-ads approach. It costs you nothing to watch, but the service makes money by selling ad slots, the commercials before, during, or after the show.
Like Tubi, Pluto TV, YouTube in a way.
Yep. The main goal here is just raw audience size. Get as many eyeballs as possible to maximize ad revenue. So their libraries often have lots of older, well-known licensed shows and movies because it's cheaper than making brand new originals. And the third main model is TDOD, Transactional video on demand. Think of this as the digital video store. It's purely pay-per-view a la carte. Perfect for stuff that's high value and timely, like brand new movie releases just out of the cinema.
Right, like renting or buying on Apple iTunes or Google Play.
Exactly. And there are two flavors here. You've got electronic sell-through, EST, where you pay a higher price to own a digital copy forever, or download to rent, DTR, a lower price for temporary access, maybe just 24 or 48 hours.
But what we're seeing more and more, it feels like, is that these lines are blurring. Platforms aren't sticking to just one model anymore. We're getting hybrid models.
Definitely. Competition is forcing their hand. Netflix was the pure ad-free SVOD champion, but now they have a cheaper tier with ads to keep growing.
And Amazon Prime Video has its subscription library right alongside a huge store where you can rent or buy movies separately.
That merging creates a new challenge, though, something people call subscription fatigue.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. Are we just swapping one big cable bill for like 10 smaller, confusing streaming bills? Is this actually better for us or just different?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? People are juggling multiple services now. The average household has quite a few. And yeah, the total cost can definitely creep back up towards that old cable bill price. But I think the key difference remains choice. You can subscribe to Disney Plus for a month, watch that one series you care about, and then cancel. And maybe resubscribe 6 months later. You absolutely couldn't do that with your cable package.
That's a fair point.
So even if it's more complex to manage, the control over the budget ultimately still rests more with you, the viewer.
It's wild how much juggling we do now. But okay, none of these business models or the choice matter if the tech underneath can't actually deliver, right? If it's buffering all the time, who cares? So let's forget the money for a second. How does the magic actually happen? How does me pressing play on a 4K movie that's stored on a server maybe thousands of miles away result in this instant smooth stream on my TV?
Right, it feels like magic, but it's actually a really clever, multi-step technological relay race. There are 3 core parts. Step 1 is encoding and transcoding. See, the original master file for a movie is enormous. We're talking hundreds of gigabytes, maybe terabytes, way too big to send directly. So it has to be translated, that's transcoding into lots of different versions.
Versions for different devices and internet speeds.
Exactly. You create multiple files tailored for everything from a weak phone signal needing a tiny, low-quality stream up to a massive 4K file for someone with super fast fiber internet. We call this collection of files the bitrate ladder.
Okay, so you've got all these different size files ready to go. What's step 2?
Step 2 is the global relay race, and that's handled by content delivery networks, or CDNs. Imagine if Amazon only had one warehouse, say, in Seattle. If you ordered something in London, shipping would take forever, right?
Yeah, makes sense.
So what do? They build local warehouses everywhere. CDNs are the digital equivalent. They're vast networks of servers, often called edge servers, spread out in data centers all over the globe. Those different video files, the whole bitrate ladder, get copied onto these CDN servers.
So when I hit play, I'm not actually pulling the stream directly from Netflix HQ in California.
Nope. Your request gets routed to the CDN server that's geographically closest to you. Maybe it's just across town or in the next state. This massively cuts down the distance the data travels, which reduces that initial loading time, the latency.
Okay, so CDN solved the distance problem. But what stops the dreaded buffering wheel mid-movie?
That's the final crucial piece. Step 3, adaptive bitrate streaming, or ABR. The video player on your device, your phone, your TV app, it isn't dumb. It's actually quite smart. It's constantly monitoring your internet connection speed in real time.
And it switches between those different quality files on the bitrate ladder based on my connection.
Precisely. It might start you off with a slightly lower quality file just to get the video playing instantly. Then, if it sees your connection is strong and stable, it'll seamlessly start requesting the higher quality, say 4K segments of the video. But crucially, if your bandwidth suddenly drops, maybe someone else in the house starts a huge download, the ABR player is smart enough to switch down to a lower quality stream before you run out of buffered video.
So it sacrifices a bit of picture quality temporarily to avoid stopping altogether.
Exactly. That dynamic on-the-fly adjustment is what ensures that smooth, continuous viewing experience, even if your internet speed fluctuates. It prioritizes playback over perfect quality at all times.
That whole process, the encoding, the CDN, the ADR, really highlights that shift in power we talked about. The infrastructure is built to give content creators that direct, high-quality pipe to us anywhere in the world. So connecting this tech back to the bigger picture, the impact on global media must be just massive.
Oh, it's absolutely transformed everything. That move to direct-to-consumer, DPC, didn't just shift the power. It gave these platforms an incredible level of insight into what we actually watch. Remember traditional TV ratings,
Mm.
Nielsen ratings? They were slow, based on small samples. They didn't give much real detail.
Right, it felt like guesswork sometimes.
Yeah.
But now the platforms know exactly what I watch when I pause if I rewatch something.
Instantly. Granular, real-time data on every interaction.
Mm.
And they use that for way more than just recommending your next show.
How so?
Well, that data directly influences what gets made. If they see, for example, that historical dramas set in ancient Rome are suddenly getting huge engagement from viewers in Germany and South Korea.
They can immediately greenlight more Roman dramas?
Exactly. They can make highly informed, data-driven decisions to commission more content like that, targeted globally, because they know there's an audience appetite. That kind of specific, rapid feedback loop was impossible before OTT.
And that global infrastructure, plus the data, that explains how things can blow up globally overnight, right? Like you mentioned, Squid Game.
That's the perfect example. OTT infrastructure lets them launch a show simultaneously in like 190 plus countries.
Hmm.
So a series from South Korea can debut, and within hours it's being watched and talked about everywhere. It becomes an instant shared global cultural moment.
Hmm.
That simply couldn't happen in the old world of staggered region-by-region releases dictated by local broadcasters or distributors.
So looking ahead then, where does OTA go next? What are the big emerging trends we should be watching?
Well, the big frontier, the final piece of the puzzle really, is live streaming. Especially live sports and major breaking news, that's still mostly dominated by traditional broadcasters.
But the streaming giants are coming for it.
They absolutely are. You see Amazon, Apple, YouTube TV making huge bids for exclusive sports rights, NFL games, soccer leagues. They want to capture that last remaining chunk of the traditional TV audience. Another huge area is hyper-personalization. We're going way beyond just recommended shows you might like.
How so? Like customizing the whole interface?
Even more granular than that,
Uh-huh.
imagine the platform changing the artwork for a movie based on what it knows about you.
Seriously?
Yeah. So if you tend to watch romantic comedies, the little poster image for a new action movie might dynamically change on your screen to show the lead smiling or in a less intense pose. But if I log in, and my history shows I love gritty thrillers, I might see a completely different, darker, moodier version of the same movie's artwork, all tailored by AI to maximize appeal to each individual user.
Wow, okay, that's slightly creepy, but definitely powerful. What else?
And finally, we're seeing more interactivity. Things like Netflix's Black Mirror, Bandersnatch, those choose-your-own-adventure style shows where your choices change the plot. Plus, we'll likely see more blurring lines with e-commerce, maybe clicking to buy something you see on screen, and deeper tie-ins with gaming, fitness apps, that sort of thing.
Okay, so let's wrap up this deep dive. The big takeaway seems to be that OTT has fundamentally shifted viewing towards user control and choice. And that's all underpinned by some seriously sophisticated tech CDNs spreading content globally, and ABR keeping the stream smooth even when connections wobble.
Absolutely. And thinking about the future, OTT isn't just aiming to be a better TV, it's evolving into potentially the central hub for all our digital entertainment, blending watching passively with interacting actively, all hyper-personalized. So the final thought to leave you with is this. That initial question we talked about, what do I want to watch, is already changing. Soon it might be, okay, I have this incredibly powerful, personalized entertainment hub. How am I going to use all this control next?